Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be making this crochet mushroom hat, but quick disclaimer before we get started. This is maybe my third time trying to film this, and every time I make it, I lose footage or something goes wrong or it just doesn't come out good. So today I will be making a miniature hat, but I'm giving you the instructions for the big one, right? So if it looks a little bit smaller or you're trying to pause the video and count my stitches, just know that you're not crazy, it is smaller. So let's get right into it. So for this project, you'll need 3 different colors of a weight 4 yarn. For your base color, which is the green here on this hat, you'll need 100 grams of yarn. For the ruffles, which is the part underneath it, you'll need 150 grams of yarn. And for the spots, these little things up here, you'll need 50 grams of yarn. I used a 5mm hook. Of course, you'll always need scissors, and I'd say you definitely want a yarn needle this time. These are the stitches we'll be using today, and if you would like to get the written pattern, it's in the description down below. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick design breakdown for you and how the hat is built. So what we do first is we work the base, which is this big green portion. Then we flip it over and we work the ruffles into the hat. And then lastly, we make all these cute little dots and then we sew them on with the yarn needle. That's basically what's gonna happen. Let's get right into it. Get started with a slip knot. From here, go ahead and chain up 4. Next, we're going to slip stitch into the very first chain that we made. And now we've just formed a circle. Instead of doing this, you can also make a magic circle. From here, we're going to chain up 1, and this does not count as a stitch. And into the circle, we're going to go ahead and make 8 half double crochet. So half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So that's 1, and that's 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the chain 1. We're going to go ahead and ignore that because it did not count as a stitch. And we're going to slip stitch at the top of the first half double crochet to join the round. And you have something that looks like this. From here, you're going to chain up 1. The chain 1 never counts as a stitch. So into the first stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet increase. So we're going to go into that stitch with 1 half double crochet, and into that same exact stitch 1 more half double crochet, and that completes our increase. And we're going to repeat that in the remaining 7 stitches in the round. So round 2 is simply 1 half double crochet increase in every stitch. So here we are with 1 stitch left to work into. This is our joining stitch, so we do not work into that one. So I'm going to show you the increase one more time. So this is our first half double crochet into this stitch. And again into that same stitch, our second half double crochet to complete our increase. And then we're going to skip this chain 1 and slip stitch to join at the top of the first half double crochet to complete round 2. Here, chain up 1, and into the first stitch, we're going to make a half double crochet increase. And into the next stitch, just 1 half double crochet. Then we repeat that sequence. So in the following stitch, we do an increase, and in the one after it, just 1/2 double crochet. So again, that's an increase, followed by 1/2 double crochet, and repeat that for the rest of the round, and I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. So we're coming up on the end of the round, and I just did an increase. I have 1 stitch left, which is perfect. Your last stitch should never be an increase. That probably means you counted wrong. If you need help with circles and they kind of confuse you, go check out my video, how to make a perfect circle every time, and it will definitely go in more detail. But for now, just know your last stitch should always be a 1/2 double crochet and never an increase. So we're just gonna go ahead and slip stitch to join like we usually do. And I'm just gonna go over this last round with you and we should be good. So we're gonna go ahead and chain up 1. This is round 4. And again, in that first stitch, we're gonna do our increase. And then in the next 2 stitches, 1/2 double crochet. So in the stitch after, we do our increase, and in the next 2 stitches, 1/2 double crochet. So repeat the pattern all the way around. We do an increase, and then 2 1/2 double crochet, an increase, and 2 1/2 double crochet all the way around. So here we are again, coming up to the end of the round. So I have my increase to do right here. And then I have 2 stitches left, which is perfect because after every increase for this round, we do 2 stitches. So the amount of stitches you have left after your last 1/2 double crochet should be the same amount you were putting in between each increase during the round. So let's go ahead and finish. So that's 1 and 2. And then slip stitch into the first 1/2 double crochet to join the round. And chain 1. So now let's go ahead and discuss how we do the following rounds because they follow the same exact pattern. So we're gonna start with our increase in the first stitch. And in the row below, we just did 2 stitches in between the increase. So all you're gonna do is simply each row you go up, you just add 1 more stitch in between the increases. So in the next round, you're gonna have 3 stitches in between your increase. And then in round 6, you'll have 4 stitches in between your increases. And then in row 7, you'll have 5 stitches in between your increases, so on and so forth. And I'm just gonna give you a quick little equation to make it even easier. So whatever round you're on, you're gonna take that round number and minus 2. The number you get will give you the amount of 1/2 double crochets to put in between your increases. So let's take a random number. Let's say it's round 12. If you're on round 12, you're gonna take 12 minus 2, you get 10. So that means you'll have 10 1/2 double crochet in between each of your increases. So continue to follow this pattern, but there is something a little different about round 13. So I'm gonna meet you at the end of round 12 and we're gonna do round 13 a little bit together. Okay, so we are going to slip stitch to join into the first 1/2 double crochet and chain 1. So usually when you work your stitches, you work under both loops like this. And this is the front loop and the other one is the back loop. So keep the pattern the same, but work every stitch in this round in the front loop only. So I'll show you what that looks like. So we're gonna yarn over as normal, insert our hook, but only go under that front loop like this. Then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So even for your increase again, we're going just under that front loop only like that to complete the 1/2 double crochet. And this is now round 13. So we're gonna complete 11 half double crochet in the front loop only before we do our increase again. So I'll show you again in the front loop only, it looks like that. And just complete your pattern all the way around. That is the only thing that changes in this round. So I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. So I just completed my last stitch. I'm gonna slip stitch to join in the first half double crochet. And I'm gonna chain up one just to hold the project and flip it over on its side. Once you lay it on this side, you can actually see these stitches are raised. So these are the back loops that we didn't work into. And we did that so when we work our ruffles, we have very clear and identified stitches for where we're going to insert our stitches. So we're gonna come back to this later, and this is just gonna be a very easy way for you to know where to work your stitches. So we're gonna continue with this circle pattern all the way up to round 19. The only difference is round 13 and round 18 work in the front loop only, but otherwise the pattern and the increase, it's all exactly the same up to round 19. So I'll meet you at round 19. So here we are at the end of round 19. I'm going to slip stitch to join the round and chain one to start round 20. And round 20 is super simple. We're just going to put one half double crochet into each stitch in the round, no increases, and just go under both loops as you usually do. So super simple and easy. I'll meet you back at the end of the round. To finish off round 20, just go ahead and slip stitch to join and chain up one and cut your work. The base of your hat is complete. Then go ahead and weave in your ends. So now you want to go ahead and flip your project on the inside, and you're going to see two raised rounds. This is going to be the top of round 12, and this is going to be the top of round 17. We're going to focus on round 12 right now, and we're going to begin our ruffles over there. So go ahead and grab the color you wanted to use for your ruffles and insert your hook under any of the stitches from the top of round 12. So this will be the back loop of the top of round 12, right? Then take your ruffle color and throw your hook over and yarn over and pull up a loop, chain one, and that does not count as a stitch. But from here, you're going to go ahead and insert one single crochet in that stitch we just attached into, and then one single crochet in all of the back loops in the round. Round 12 had 96 stitches, so you will have 96 single crochet in this round when we're done. So again, just go ahead and find that back loop and insert your single crochet. So single crochets, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, and complete that all the way, and I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. Okay, here we are with our last stitch. So we're just going to go ahead and slip stitch to join into the first single crochet, and that completes round one of the ruffles. I'm also going to fold down the rest of the project just so the stitches that I'm working on are protruding out and just easier to see. For round two, we're going to start with a chain of 4, and this chain 4 does count as a stitch. It's actually a treble crochet, and we're going to begin the ruffles by making clusters. So into the same stitch we just worked into, we're going to add 4 more treble crochet. So treble crochet is yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and one last time, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to repeat that for a total of 3 more times, putting 5 treble crochet into this stitch. So that's 4. And this is the 5th one, and it will look something like that. And we're just going to repeat that in every stitch in the round. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. So the only difference between the first stitch and the remaining ones is the first one had that chain 4, which counts as a stitch. So again, we only put 4 in here, but the rest of them we actually put 5. So continue that in every single crochet in the round, and I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. So here we are, and we have 1 stitch left. So we're going to go ahead and insert 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally 5. And after completing your final cluster, we'll slip stitch to join in the top of the chain 4. Perfect, and that ends round 2 of the ruffles. Again, we're going to chain up 4, and this does count as a stitch. And let's bring up that side of the project, and we're going to find the next raised round. So those back loops, we did this so it's easy to identify because we're going to work into some of them. From here, you're going to bring this back piece up, and we're going to start connecting the ruffles to the hat as we go in the round. So take your chain 4 and bring it straight up so it aligns with the project. And basically slip stitch it into the back loop that aligns most closely to it when it's laying up straight. So insert your hook underneath, yarn over, and slip stitch to connect. And from here, we are going to insert 1 treble crochet in each stitch. But remember, we're going to be connecting it as we go. The pattern is as follows. We're going to insert 1 treble crochet into the next 10 stitches to create our first ruffle. Because the chain 4 is connected to the hat already, it does not count as one of the stitches in this first ruffle. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And on the 10th one is where we do all of the connecting. So we're going to go back to that round 17 to connect because we just finished our 10th stitch. And we're going to go ahead and skip 1 stitch so you can see where we connected. We're going to skip this one and slip stitch into the stitch beside it to connect our first ruffle. So the math on this was a bit complicated for me to figure out, so I just want to do a quick voiceover to explain it in great detail so it doesn't get confusing. So what we just did was skip 1 stitch and then connect in the stitch right beside it. In this entire hat, we're going to do that a total of 3 times. I'm going to show you what we do for the remaining connections of the hat. Then from here, we're going to continue and insert 1 treble crochet again into the next 10 stitches like we just did. So this is my 3rd one, this is my 4th one, this is 5, 6, this is 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, perfect. And on your 10th one, that's where you connect. So from here, we just went into this loop. We're going to skip 2 this time. So skip 1 and skip 2 and go into the 3rd one and go ahead with your slip stitch to join. So what we just did was skip 2 stitches and connect in the following stitch. We need to repeat this a total of 44 times. And it doesn't matter where you do these connections, all that matters is the amount of connections you do. So in summary, we connect with the slip stitch to round 17 a total of 48 times in the hat. The first time is your starting point. The next 3 times is when you skip 1 and connect, and the remaining 44 times is when you skip 2 and connect. All of these together give us the total of 48 connections into the hat. And if this is too much counting for you, I'm going to show you another method to attach this if you're not really liking this all that much. I ran out of this color yarn, so I had to switch. That's why it's different. And I just did my last treble crochet. So I'm going to explain how we do the other method. So for the other method, you won't join as you go. You'll simply put 1 treble crochet in each stitch in the round, and when you finish the round, you'll slip stitch to join, and then you're going to chain up 4, and this does count as a stitch, and this is the final round of the ruffle. So this is round 4, and whether you do the joining method or the sewing method, which is what I'm going to show you right now, round 4 is exactly the same, and you just insert 1 treble crochet in each stitch in the round. So I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round and show you how to do the sewing method on this side of the hat. If you did the joining method, just know that you're not going to work into the slip stitch, only work into the treble crochets, okay? Here I am at the end of round 4. So I'm just going to slip stitch to join in the top of the chain 4, chain 1. I'm gonna cut my work. Then go ahead and weave in this tail end. From here, you're going to want to take yarn that is long enough to go around the entire hat at least 1.5 times. And then you're gonna cut it at that length and go ahead and thread your needle. And you wanna make sure you do make a knot at the end so it doesn't come out while you're sewing. So you're gonna want something like this. So half of my hat was joined with the slip stitch, right? But if this is what you're deciding to do the whole time, you will have to do it all the way around. I only need to do it for half the hat. So I'm just gonna find one of the stitches and start right into it as well. So I'm going to go into the same stitch and I'm gonna make a knot first. So I'm gonna pull up the yarn. So I'm going to pull it through. Okay, after we do that, I'm going to go in the same area but in a different direction. And this time you're going to want to hold your finger while you're pulling up the yarn to keep a loop. And after you pull the yarn through, you're going to put your needle back through this loop. And this basically just secures the yarn in place so you can start sewing and then pull on it to make a knot. You can see because the difference of colors, this is the end of round 2. We're going to continue working in round 2 just as we did when we were slip stitching to join. So we're going to flip this upwards and you can see we're joined at this stitch, which is this stitch right here. So we're going to count 10 away from that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to go into the top of that treble crochet. And you can follow the same pattern, but since you're sewing, you don't have to be as meticulous. But you can go, this is the stitch we're in, right? You can go 2 away or 3 away. It's going to be a little bit more forgiving because you're sewing. I would still suggest to follow a similar pattern because the math of the hat corresponds with it. It will make your ruffles nice and even when they fold like this, versus if you do it super randomly, they may not sit the best. So again, we just joined here in this stitch. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 away and go into the top of that treble crochet. I just went 1 away, so now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 away and just insert my needle into the top of the mushroom And I'm just going to keep on doing that all the way around. So we just worked in this stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Into the top of that treble crochet. We just went in this stitch, 1, 2, I'm gonna go 3 away. And again, this should be really easy to see because these are the back loops of this round. And just pull it through. So this is how you do the sewing version. You can see how it's a little slack. It's okay. As you go, you can tighten it and pull it on it like that. That's how you attach the ruffles. So you're going to go ahead and do that all the way around. Okay, so here we are back at the beginning. When you get back to the beginning of the round, you do want to make sure you make a knot like you did at the beginning so the thread does not fall out. So again, you want to pull up that loop with your finger in it, and then reinsert your thread through it and pull the yarn through and secure a knot. You can do that 1 to 3 times. I'm just going to do it 2 times. Again, I'm going to insert my needle and hold my finger here to keep up a loop, pull the yarn through, and then go back into the loop with my needle and pull the yarn through the other way and tug on it to secure a knot. And then from here, you just want to go ahead and weave in your ends. I would weave it into the ruffles just because it's the same color, so it hides better. And then after you weave in your ends, you can go ahead and cut this extra tail yarn. It's better to have extra than not have enough. So you can just go ahead and cut that. And last but not least, now it is time for the spots. I actually want to add more spots on my original hat. I want to add some here, here, and here because it's a little bit sparse. So luckily, you already know how to make the spots. The spots is the same exact pattern as the base of the hat where we started. So you're gonna do your chain 4, slip stitch to join into the first chain, and you're gonna chain up 1. The only difference here is you're going to make 5 or 6 half double crochet into the first round. The reason why I say 5 or 6 is because you do want to have a variation of sizes. So you can just stick to 5 or 6 and change the amount of rounds you have. Absolutely be as random as you want to be for this part because you want to have as many different sizes as you can. I think that makes it look the best. Like this one over here is huge. And this one over here is pretty tiny. This one was just 1 round. This one was 2 rounds. I think this one was like 5 rounds. So I basically pick a number. Definitely make it less than 8. So I definitely say 5 or 6 is the best to start with. And then make like 1 round for a small circle, 2 rounds for a medium. Let's just make one here. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna do 6. And then I'm going to slip stitch to join into that first half double crochet. You can see it's the same exact method. And from there, after we join round 1, this is actually good enough to be a circle if you wanted to. So you could chain up 1 here. I'll actually do that. And you're going to pull up a tall loop and cut. And you basically use this string to sew it on. So let me just show you exactly what to do. So take your hat, make sure the top part is facing you and the ruffles are down on the table. And pick a spot, any spot. Let's go right here. I like it to be like not too many of the same size right beside each other. And I'm basically just going to thread the yarn needle and place it just around where I want it. And I'm going to go at least under the pink side, so the base, and then through the spot and pull it through. And then I'm gonna try and hide this tail end just underneath it. And just basically, I'm gonna do that all the way around. So the smaller dots, this is pretty easy. You only have to do it a few times. So just through the top of the hat and the spot, and make sure you pull the yarn through. And I just turn the hat as I'm doing this. And I basically stop once I get close to the side where I started, which was over here, because I can see the knot. And I am doing this fairly tightly because I do want them to be very secure. Okay, and now I'm back around where I begun. So I'm going to make the knot to tie off again. So you just hold your finger there and put your needle through and tug on it to make a knot. I definitely do this twice for these spots. Okay, so I'm gonna tug that through, and then I like to take my crochet hook and stick it underneath the spot. Then I like to yarn over and just hide the yarn underneath the spot, and then I just go ahead and cut it. If the tail end is poking out, I might redo it and do the same thing, yarn over and hide it through. Sometimes it'll be short enough just to hide by itself. And you just basically repeat that as many times as you would like, with as many spots as you would like. The only difference with the different size spots is the first round. It has a different amount of stitches, but the pattern is exactly the same, right? So in round 2, you do an increase in every stitch. In round 3, you do an increase, then 1 stitch, increase 1 stitch. Round 4, circle pattern is always exactly the same. Once you've done all your spots, your hat is basically done. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.